promise you. I wanted to take a moment just to thank our hosts and hostesses for this wonderful cruise. Kim and Adam, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And the reason why you guys are here is because you are important. Okay, that is why you're here. They really care deeply about each and every one of their clients and customers, and they really are here to make a difference in people's lives. And you know, believe it or not, we all make a difference, and you make a huge difference. You give people a place to live. You give people a place to exist. That's important. Let me see a show of hands, though. How many people would like to earn more money? Really? God, capitalists. How many people would like to have? How many people would like to have a better relationship with their spouse, their kids, their significant other?
Sure.
Okay. So you know what? It all goes down to communication. Every single day we have to communicate. You either communicate well or you communicate poorly. And you only get one shot, usually to make a good first impression. So if you're in a position of prominence where you're hiring people that are going to run your properties, you have to know how to hire properly. You have to know how to train them. And hopefully you won't have to fire them if you do those things. And if you're on a lower end of the property management scale, you've got to get good residents. It's not just getting a head to fill the bed. It's about getting good residents. It's about getting them to pay on time. It's about getting them to want to do this. It's all about communication. So what this presentation over the next 7.5 hours is going to teach you is how to communicate better. Now, why should I be up here? For 26 years I practiced chiropractic, okay, and then I left in 2004 and decided to retire. And I was headhunted by a life coaching company who was all Tony Robbins master trainers. And what they did was they taught me how to coach people to have better lives, how to make better money, how to be happy. And that's what it's about, how to be happy. So what I do today is I coach businesses, both large and small, and I coach people, both large and small, on how to design the best life that they possibly can. So what we're going to talk about is the art of communication. Now, if you're in upper level management, your goal is really to get that prospect to sign. Because if you're in upper level management and you have no residents in your properties, guess what? You're not going to be in upper level management for too long. And if you're a property owner, you're not going to be the property owner for too long. The bank is going to take back your property. So the goal is to get your prospects to sign. Now, if you're high up in the food chain, you've got to be able to do that all the way down. So it doesn't matter what level you're at. Understand that if you're hiring people, it's about communication, and if you're about getting heads in beds, it's about communication. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes. So, steps. I don't care what you're doing. It's the same steps. You want to have a better relationship with your spouse? Smile at her or smile at him. You know, if you're all frowned and all closed up, they're going to respond in kind. So if you're looking to hire somebody, smile. Okay, you want to get into rapport. Rapport is really important. Rapport is that unspoken connection. Okay? If I was talking to you like this and, you know, all right, yes, what we're going to do is now, we wouldn't be in rapport. You wouldn't be accepting any message that I had to give you. It's the same thing when you're interviewing. It's the same thing when you are getting a prospect in front of you. There's been much great material that's been written on rapport. I recommend check out Tony Robbins' Unlimited Power. Phenomenal, phenomenal stuff. It's important to match and mirror. Match and mirror is a technique where you will speak in the same tone. For example, I'm from New York, and I speak at 60 miles an hour, and I've gusts up to 160. A lot of you are from the Midwest, and a lot of you are from the South. And if I spoke like this in my normal tone, I would blow you out of the water. You're probably ready to pull your hat out of your head right now, because you can't take this. So I understand that. So what I do is I change my cadence. I change my tonality to match the audience or to match the person that I'm speaking to. Now I have to go somewhere in the middle because there are some Easterners here, but most of you are from the Midwest, where Midwesterners are just slower. They're the nicest people in the world.
Yeah, we are.
They are. I do a lot of work in Madison, Wisconsin, and I got to tell you, baby, I love
Badgers.
Midwesterners are the greatest people on the planet Earth, but they are slower than an Easterner. And when I say slower, not slower like that, just their tone, their cadence. So you need to match that. Be sympathetic, be empathetic, and be caring. You know, when you hire somebody, they've got a problem. They're there for a reason. And you need to find out what that reason is. Maybe they're looking for a job because they need to get their kid into daycare, or maybe they're looking for a job because they need to go back to school. And conversely, or in addition to, when you get a tenant in front of you, or when your people get a tenant in front of them, they've got a reason for needing to be there. Maybe they just got thrown out of their own their old apartment, or maybe they're going through a divorce. You know, when you understand the language that they're speaking, it's a lot easier to get them to come to your side. Another example, if I was speaking to you now in Chinese, I don't think we'd be having a very effective communication unless you knew the language. So it's very important to be empathetic, be sympathetic, and listen for their true problem. And then if you're training your staff, your rental agents, use a script. Get them into the scripting habit. Now, I'm a bullet guy. I'm not a script guy. I don't like scripts because they sound red and they sound robotic. I like to have bullets of highlights, what you want to bring out, and let them train like that. Any questions to this point? Very important, okay? Everybody has their own style of language, everybody has communication styles and their own personality, and it's important to know the personalities. There are 4 types we're going to talk about. An analytical type of person. This is the type of person that's very organized, very systematized. They're very, very methodical. You may see them as being overly cautious. They don't really take chances, and these are the people that do things by the book. There are certain characteristics of analytical people that you need to know, and they're very controlled, they're orderly, they're very, very precise. They're disciplined, they're systematic, they have a plan. And in order to speak to somebody like that, you have to take on certain characteristics. Number 1, you need to speak very slowly and very resonantly to them. You need to take them in a linear progression from point A to point B, and you need to give them just the facts. You don't want, we have a saying in my house, okay? It's daddy, 5 words or less. Okay, that's the way I communicate, 5 words or less. So Jessie, my youngest, she likes to go through long, flowing conversations. And she'll go through something like, well, we got on the train, and then we were going to go to Adele's house, and then from Adele's house we're going to have pizza, and then from there and my oldest, Brittany, will elbow her, and she'll be, Jess, it's daddy, 5 words. Okay? I'm analytical, man. I'm driven. It's just give me the facts. You need to know that in order to communicate with me effectively, because when she's telling me about how she's going to Adele's house, I'm already shut down. I'm done. Well, you need to know that when you're training your staff, because if you're speaking to them not in their language, they're shutting down. They're not getting all the pieces. The same thing with your tenants. So they're detailed-oriented, and you have to be detailed-oriented with an analytical person. A driver, okay? And what I'd recommend that you do is think about people in your own life who have these different personalities, whether they're friends, family, tenants, whatever, and think of how you've communicated with them before and what would you do differently. So a driver is just that. They are a driver. They love the challenge. They are results-oriented. Give me results, baby, and give them to me now. They are decisive. They're pragmatic. These are the people that really get things done. They're the multitaskers of the world. They're action-oriented. They're problem solvers. You can give them anything to solve, and they'll do it. They're assertive. They are demanding. They recommend, excellence, and that's what they stand for, excellence. Risk-taker. They're forceful. They're competent. Do we know anybody in this room who might be a driver? Yeah. He is a driver because he demands excellence from his people. He's a driver because he is decisive. He's a driver because he's a risk taker. Starting a business in an economy since 2008, you got to have a good set and a big one, okay? Because it ain't easy. He does. He has both, good and big. That's what kids call it. How do you speak to a driver, okay? Just as the example with my kids, okay? I'm a driver personality, in case you haven't guessed. Okay, it's to the point, baby. It's quick. It's decisive. Give me the results. And it's important to paint a picture, not paint a picture, but rather paint a picture. There's a typo in that. Paint a picture of what the results are going to look like. If you are able to get X number of heads in the beds, what's going to happen is A, B, C, or D. And you must be very confident with a driver personality. If you speak to a driver like this, well, yeah, I think we can get you in. Maybe later. You're done. You're done. A driver is to the point. That's how you speak to them. Okay, Mrs. Potential tenant, we can get you in to see the property at 2 or 4. Which is better for you? With a driver, they have to make the decision. You can't make it for them. So you give them choices, and the choice, whatever they make, is okay for you. So Mrs. Driver, we get you at 2 or 4. Which is better for you? You don't care if they come at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock. If you tell them, we'll see you at 11, no, that's not good. They're done. Because they need to make that choice for themselves. Any questions to this point? Amiable. These are the people we all love to talk to. Okay, these are your Midwesterners. These are the greatest people on the planet. They're nice. They're sweet. They're friendly. They hate dealing with impersonalities. They're usually quick to reach a decision. These are the warm people. But they can also be looked at as being wishy-washy. And the reason why they can be looked at as being wishy-washy is because they're just so nice and they're taking it all in. They're patient, they're loyal, they're sympathetic. It's daddy. Those are my kids. It's daddy. How many words?
5.
5 words or less, right? They're team people. They're relaxed. They're mature. They're supportive. They're stable. And they're persevering. And they're really good people. And the way you want to speak to an amiable customer is you want to speak soft and slowly. You do not want to talk forceful to somebody like them. You will blow them away. It is just too much. You also want to be open when you speak to them. You know, body language is a lot. If I go up to an amiable person and I talk like this, they're going to be backing away from me because this is an aggressive stance. This is threatening. Okay, I want to be warm and inviting. How are you today? And she's saying, yeah, you know, I get it. Okay? You don't want to give them whole core facts, but amiable people deal with feelings. You know, you're going to love this property. You're going to love this property because at Christmas time, we decorate this in such a way that it gives you, you feel like you're back home. You know, it's just the old-fashioned Christmas. In the springtime, oh, the garden is here, unbelievable. The flowers that we put out, it's just heaven. And the scents, it's just unbelievable. You want to paint a picture for them of a feeling. Expressive people. We all know them. They're crazy. They're over the top. They're just, oh, and everybody's laughing because we know somebody like this in our life. Okay? Expressive people have certain characteristics. They're just all over the place, and they can't really focus. And they're verbal, they're motivating, they're exciting, they're influential, they're charming, they're animated. So what you want to do as you start to think of these things is think of people in your life. Think of your employees. Think of how you're communicating with them now. And then go ahead. With an expressive customer, you do not want to be speaking like this. If you have a customer before you that's going to sign on the dotted line, take a property, and they're telling you, oh my God, you know, she walked out on me, and now I got to find this, now I got to find, you don't want to be like, oh gee, that's really a shame, because they don't get it. You want to step it up, you want to amp it up, and you want to get to the tone that they're at, and you want to get to that level of excitement and the level of importance. And these people need compliments. Expressive people, that's why they're expressive, they're looking for attention. They need attention. Compliment them on something, but don't make it left-handed. Be genuine. You can always find something. That is a great hat. It really is. I love it. Okay? I'm not making it up. It is a great hat. Okay? And Lisa always looks so pretty. She does. Okay? It's not left-handed. Real things. Adam is really a good-looking guy. And he's good at what he does. Okay? Compliment these people. They need to know. And again, you need to not paint them, but paint them a picture of what it's going to look like. If you're able to quickly identify them, we just went to 4 types, okay? There are many other subcategories, but if you're able to quickly identify who these people are, you will have a much, much better opportunity of getting them to do what it is that you want them to do. Whether it's being a great employee and putting heads in beds, or whether it's getting people to sign on the dotted line, whatever it is that you need to do, if you're able to speak to them in their language, you're going to have a whole lot more success. I don't know if you realize this, but the economy isn't good. Is anybody aware of that? Here's some startling facts for you, and these are facts. 2013 and beyond, it's going to take you 3 times as much money to get the same number of customers that you have now. 3 times as much to get the same as you have now. Why is that? That is because of commercial clutter. In 1996, we got over 30,000 commercial messages a day. what that means is your inbox and your email was full. What that means is you got barraged by radio and TV, texting, everything on the planet. And what happens is that makes it very hard to get noticed. That was a 1996 statistic. I don't have a recent one. So I'm going to make a guess that we get well over 100,000 commercial messages a day. What that means is it's very hard for your property and your property and your property to get noticed. So what that means is you need better visibility. You need better ways. This is why resident news, okay, is a slam dunk, because everything's about communication. So it's about getting your name out in front of your people always, and hopefully your people will take that newsletter to somebody else and generate your name in front of them. But what we each need to do is to keep TOMA. TOMA stands for Top of Mind Awareness. If you don't have top of mind awareness, you are yesterday's news and you are forgotten. So in order to keep top of mind awareness, you need to be aware of some statistics. 30% of emails are open. Now think about your own email box. How many emails do you get a day? And how many do you actually read? And how many do you go delete, 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 delete? Okay? People are laughing because they know it's true. So email is not a very effective way of keeping TOMA anymore. Should you do email? Absolutely. Because you still need exposure. But what did I say? You're going to have to spend 3 times more money to get the same results as you're getting now. Texting. If you're not doing that Text Me Mobile program, you need to get your head examined. And I'm not here to push Text Me Mobile on you, okay? I'm really not. I'm here to push TOMA. And let me tell you what I do. In 2009, it's like the mafia, man. You think you're out, and they just suck you back in. In 2009, I decided to start seeing patients again. I do something called enzyme nutrition, and I love it. I love it. I love it because I really get to change lives. But, you know, I want to do well, and I want my patients to be happy. And I've realized that while patients fly in from all over the country to see me, still, I'm yesterday's news that they don't know about me. So one of the things that I noticed in my practice, and also in other physician practices that I coach, is a 30% no-show rate. 30% in a professional practice. If you're doing 300K, that's 30 grand you're leaving on the table. That's a lot of money. So I started to use the texting program in my own practice and also to the docs that I coach. And we brought the no-show rate down from 10% in industry standard to under 2%. So if you're not using the texting program, I'd highly recommend you use it, because what happens is it's instantaneous, and that's why I do it for that statistic. 99%, 99%, that's pretty good, of texts are read almost instantaneously. Telephone, 17% are answered, snail mail 25%, and direct mail campaigns, 80% are open. So it's important that you get into your mindset that yes, you need to invest more in your business, but you need to do things right. And you need to do things that are going to give you TOMA. So if you take nothing home, keep TOMA in your mind and bring that forward. Any questions? No? I did such a good job? Wow. Listen, I really appreciate the opportunity to get up here, to speak with you. If you have any questions at any point, I'll be here. I'm not planning to go overboard. Really, enjoy this vacation. For you Midwesterners, this is going to be beyond a heat wave for you. At 16 below zero. Everybody else, enjoy the day. Adam, do you have anything else to?
No?
Good.
Lisa? We about to get their bag.
Yeah. Thank you all again for being here this morning. Really, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Paul. I had mentioned earlier about the invitation to the captain's reception. It's a